What's up, guys? It's a breakdown of UFC Fight Night Erceg vs Moreno, and we're getting right into it. With a fight so good, I can't even zoom in because I don't have the stats. MarQuel Mederos vs Austin Hubbard. Dude, this fight sucks to pick because Austin Hubbard, I swear he's looked 36 years old his entire career, and he's only 33. Then you gotta think, he feels like he's always just a step behind in every single decision. Then you look at MarQuel Mederos, and you look at his fights, and I swear he's fighting people that just fall over. And then he beats Landon Quinones. And in my head, I'm like, oh, that's a really good win. That's a really good win. Dude, Landon Quinones is just losing close fights. How does that make it a good win? Like, and have we not learned losing a close fight doesn't put you up there? Like, that guy that beat Manel Cop, where is he now? Losing. There's another example. I can't even think of it, though. But I want to go Austin. Of course his nickname's Stud, by the way. His head fucking thudded off the counter when his parents dropped him. No offense. I'm sure he'll put on a barn burner, but dude, he just loses close fights. I really want MarQuel Mederos to win. 28 could be something. Versus Austin Hubbard, who's kind of just going by in his career. He's 4-6 in the UFC. I'm going MarQuel Mederos 29-28, but Austin Hubbard's probably a decent underdog to pick. But if you never bet on Austin Hubbard, because he's gonna be a guy where you bet on him and you're gonna break your monitor because he's like just one more thing you could win this, and it's like no, he never does it. But let's move on to some easier fights to call. Jamall Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda, and I mean, is this even in question who's gonna win this fight? It's Jamall Emmers, right? Like Gabriel Miranda. Have we seen him? Like, did we just see him lose in the UFC? Who did he beat? She beat Shane Young. Oh, good old Shane Young, the Australian legend. Dude, he got the shit kicked out of by Morgan Charrier, who's proven he's not even at that level, right? Losing to a UK guy. Ugh. Where are they now? Benoit Saint-Denis, too. That's who he's losing to? French guy. Where are they now? But then you look at Jamall Emmers. Pretty boy. Dude, Jamall Emmers is... He's that Michael Johnson where he's never consistent enough to string anything together, but he has some damn good performances. I can't say wins because he'll lose these super close split decisions to good names. Jack Jenkins, he beat Corey Sandhagen on the regional scene, which was a very early Corey Sandhagen, but still. Nate Landwehr got uppercutted. He was looking good before he got knocked out in the first round. Not the best example. But Pat Sabatini, come on, he's beating him before he got subbed in the first round. Split decision to Giga. But Giga was looking shaky in the early career anyways. But still. He's beating that 23-0 guy that I can't pronounce the name of. But, dude, he's going to knock out Gabriel Miranda. He has so much more power than him. Gabriel Miranda is just a little tomato can to get these UFC guys some wins. Let's go into, another fight. Dude, I say this, but the prospects keep fucking winning over and over. Fight card after fight card. It is driving me insane. Just have some sensible win. Okay, Rafa García. It's not that good. Grant Dawson isn't a bad loss. Tricard Close kind of is now. Dude, Chris Guttmacher is a horrible loss. And that's right, Hackbross is not bad, though. But he's beating little bums. Clay Guida is his most recent win. But then Vinc Pichel, dude. Vinc Pichel's, 42? And he is so inconsistent, too. It's like everything you would hate about an old guy. Right? He's not getting finished or hurt, but he's taking these long spans. Why? What are we doing here? He lost to UFC 2. UFC 2, the video game fight legend Rustam Khabibov, who is in every single UFC game, but I've never seen him fight. both pointless fact. He's losing to Ismail Bonfim. He's losing to Mark Madsen, which are better names than Rafa García. But Vinc Pitel's not 42. It's like, dude, what are we doing here? Scraping by another paycheck. Rafa gifted Garcia in the hometown too. And elevation versus a 42-year-old guy. Those guys' cardios never hold up. Except for Volk. Come on, Volk. But Rafa Garcia by a ground and pound TKO, round 2 or 3. Godinez versus Julia Polastri. I mean, this one doesn't even need time to break down, let's be honest. Godinez, I don't think should be fighting this far down. Just because she's had some slip-ups to... I don't even know if it's slip-ups. I think it's a slip-up to Mackenzie Dern. Right? Is that all it is? Because she had that one loss for super short notice. Oh, no. It's been Vivian Jandaroba of recent, too, though. Then Angela Hill. But that's after 4 straight wins where she's clearly improved. And at elevation, too. Godinez has looked amazing other than losing to number 2 in the division, and then Mackenzie Dern. It's gonna be, and I know I'm just talking about Loopy, but Loopy's gonna steamroller, probably by decision. I'd love to see a finish though. Let's go Loopy Godinez, but yeah. Now this fight, dude. Why does he stand like that? Why can't UFC fighters pose like a normal human being? The biggest slouched shoulders looks like a. Looks like he's going to shit himself. Oh my god. This fight I hate though. I can't stand this fight because I keep going back and forth in my head. Like, okay, I'm going to explain this back and forth though. Christian Rodríguez. It's not just the Julian Erosa loss that's throwing me off though, but that is a horrible loss. So he beats contender after contender after contender after contender. Raul Rosas, Cameron Saimon, Isaac Bulgarian, all asterisks next to every single one. Weight miss. Controversial split decision that is closer than I used to think, but still. Then Austin Bashi beats 13-0. And what I take away from the Bashi fight is his takedown defense did look amazing. D1 wrestler, can't do shit. Did look amazing, but you just would have wished there would have been a little more striking, right? It's like, you showed this guy out, and the same thing with Joshua Van Race-Aruya, but that's more of an excuse. But Melquizael Acosta, I don't think his takedowns are the same Austin Bashi style. I think it's going to be, let's compare Austin Bashi to that Michael Chandler D1 grit. And then Costa to more that Charles Oliveira weird-ass, drag you down kind of takedowns that are just not the same as that standard wrestling we're talking about, right? But that's not just it. I was watching some Costa regional scene highlights. Dude, he was pretty funky with that spinning shit. His striking, okay, so Rodriguez's output in that Bashi fight is already low with only a threat of a takedown. Austin Bashi had shit striking, let's be fair. Now, let's say if Austin Bashi learned a friggin' body kick, learned a spinning elbow, spinning back kick, learned some funky jiu-jitsu shit, is he winning that fight? It's not like there wasn't some close rounds in that fight. Definitely the first, right? But then we look at Costa, and he's 22-7. He's not like he's an undefeated prospect or anything. He lost to Steve Garcia, which isn't a bad loss. I think that's a fine loss. Steve Garcia is 5-0 with 5 KOs, right? Thiago Moises more sucks though. But then you look, it's his debut. He could have been shitting his pants, right? Performing in front of his home crowd. But then he beats Charlene, Nerdy, and Becky 39-11. A lot of experience, but who cares, right? Who the fuck is that? And then Andre Fili, who, it was looking like a close fight where Costa was coasting ahead, and then Fili was like, oh, how about I put my head in a guillotine? But then Christian Rodriguez does that too. So where do you go with this, right? Like, but I think I'm going with Melquizael Costa. It's such a close fight. I want to go with the underdog. Costa by... Rodríguez is submittal. Costa by round 2 submission. But I could see Rodríguez breaking him too. I think it's going to be a really fun fight, whatever it turns out to be though. But Costa round 2 submission. And let's do it for Scott Jorgensen. Is that might be fucked up to say, I don't know. Anyways, moving on to Jose Daniel Medina versus Ateba Gautier. For some reason, I've been following Ateba Gautier since he fought on the Contender Series. I mean, he didn't, not like he like shocked the world on the Contender Series, like, no shit, he's gonna beat that guy, and it wasn't that impressive. But he's 23. He has an 81-inch reach. Dude, he's gonna fucking kill Jose Daniel Medina. I'm just gonna call him Jose Medina from now on. But, dude, what is Medina doing? He's just blobbing around. I don't know why he's still in the UFC. He lost on the Contender Series. And I swear, that was the most mercy signing I've ever seen. He just got the shit kicked out of him. Usually when we see a mercy signing, it's like, oh, he got beat up, but he threw something back. Dude, Godzuliev, probably not. I'm just going to call him Magomed. Magomed beat the piss out of him over and over and just got tired of beating him up. Did he get hit back while being tired? He was just tired beating him up. Okay. We're going to sign him for that. Loses to Zachary Reese. Another just slobber knocker. Slobber knocker in one direction. Beat him up again. And then we look at Ateba, right? 6-1. I love that he's not undefeated. Just because that, if you look at that one loss, by the way, that cameraman should consider jumping in the bathtub with a toaster, let's say. Because, oh, let me film the ceiling during a fight. Make that make sense. But he loses a split decision. Good. Learn. Because he went out there. The other, by the way, Glenn Williams is damn flopping like a fish in SpongeBob, rolling around on his back, just giving up every takedown. And Gautier still found a way to gas himself out and not finish this guy. Perfect, though. With that physique, right? Of course he's going to gas. But, dude, now that I know he's gassed and he's learned, and he went to a decision before that, 2-1. But now that I've known he's gassed and learned, what wild card is Jose Medina going to pull out? He can't pull out the I'm fat and Mexican and can get beat up for 3 rounds and make a fluky comeback. The other guy's already gassed. He already knows what that road's down like. He's not going to want to do that again. Hopefully. Hopefully it's not dumb as a pile of rocks, right? We can pray. Dude, there's no way Jose Medina shows up with the random one-punch knockout power. Ateba Gautier, I think he's going to drop him but not finish. If he drops him, he's probably going to gas himself out, though. Ateba Gautier by decision. Hope he doesn't drop him just because of that. Moving on. Edgar Cháirez versus CJ Vergara. Now, why is CJ Vergara still signed? I know Edgar Cháirez hasn't had the best career either. But at least he's losing to good names. At least he's losing to the Joshua Van. He's losing to the Tetsuro Taira. Dude, actually, that's insane. And he hasn't looked awful in either of those fights. 11-6 is not fair compared to CJ Vergara just being fat, missing weight, and just beating bums, let's be honest. Who's he beat? Vinicius Salvador. Daniel Lacerda. Clayton Rodríguez. Right? And he's losing the fights where he misses weights too. Fat piece of garbage. And he's not losing to tomato cans. I'm going to be fair. But he's not losing to the... Like, he's losing to some of the same guys as Cháirez. Then he's also losing to people below who Cháirez has lost to. Right? It's just Cháirez has looked... Just off the eye test, Cháirez has looked better at every single point in his UFC career than CJ Vergara has ever. And CJ Vergara can run all he wants. Cháirez isn't going to gas while he runs. Like a little hoe. Edgar Cháirez... Dude, he's going to finish him. CJ Vergara got a fat old body that's been ripened for the picking with some body shots, right? Edgar Cháirez, round 3, TKO, up against the fence. No more running, buddy. Can't hide this time. Yeah, Cháirez. Now we're moving on to the main card. Ronaldo Rodríguez versus Kevin Borjas. And everyone's saying it, right? Ronaldo Rodríguez isn't... He's a star, but he isn't the prospect he's made out to be. That Ode Osborne fight looks so bad. But who knows? Maybe that Ode Osborne fight flipped the switch. Flip the switch and he need to push it. Dennis Bondar before that's a good win. But I know I'm basing this off completely nothing. But with that star power that he's now gained, right? Or not gained, he's had it, but dude, he's on a different level where I think he's just pushing to train and getting these new connections that he didn't once have with only a win. And he's 25. Maybe that putting yourself in the sphere at 24 years old is a bit of a crazy task to first meet. Especially on the main card. That's insane. And it was a controversial decision. But, dude, that's so much more than Kevin Borjas. And I honestly thought Kevin Borjas was going to be something before Joshua Van destroyed him. And it's like, okay, that's not that bad. But then Alessandro Costa, too. I'm not sure about that one. Then he's just taking so much time off. Versus Rodríguez, taking a bit of time off, too, but not as much. More active. How old's Kevin Borjas? He's 27. So, dude, Kevin Borjas could out of nowhere reinvent himself and prove me wrong. But just this momentum. So much more behind Ronaldo Rodríguez. That's the pick. Ronaldo Rodríguez, 30-27 I'm going to pick. But there's going to be some moments where you go, oh, Jesus, he's not ready. I feel like he's going to have a couple more of those close performances before we realize it's like, oh, it's who he is. Fuck. I forgot to check who these absolute no-names were. I'm going to be honest. Long shift, though. I can excuse. But I do remember knowing Saimon Oliveira's like, what the fuck? Versus... Dude, he beat a 5-0 guy on the Contender Series. David Martinez, that is. And his only loss is to coming up early on in his career. Saimon Oliveira is 33, he's on the later half, and he's just 5-0. Oh, and he's losing in the UFC. Tony Gravely. Oh, hell no. I was already not going to pick him. Finished by Daniel Marcos, who isn't bad. Who's actually pretty damn good, but dude, he lost to Tony Gravely. I don't know. Dude, where has Tony Gravely been? Is he no longer with us? Has he moved on to another life? Probably grave digging or some bullshit. David Martinez is going to win. He's going to show out and probably make a name for himself out of nowhere. David Martinez! And the commentators are trying to convince us who he is, too. And we're in Mexico. And he's Mexican. Don't even try to hardcore this one out, dude. It's David Martinez. Now this one, I'm going to hardcore out for absolutely no reason. Even though I just contradicted that. Raul Rosas Jr. looked... Oh my god, I just realized everyone is coming off that 306 card. These Mexicans are in UFC... UFC Mexico jail where they can only fight. Because that's all they can use them for. But super competitive fight with the Richie Lang. I'm not going to say it was close, but it was very competitive. But then again, it's like a Richie Lang is that hard test with a shit ton of experience. It's like, Rosas Jr. was 9-1 going into that, and Richie Lang was 25-11. Dude, you got to watch out for that level of craft. Versus Vince Morales, who is just... Dude, that fight was recent, the Elijah Smith one. Yeah, 2025 February 15th. He was just a step behind. What is he going to improve in that time? Also, let's throw on that, he's 34. 34 at 135. Dude, what is Morales? He had that really cool close guillotine at the end. But I think Raul Rosas Jr. is ahead of Elijah Smith. And what they've proven, Elijah Smith might be the great 10-time defending champ Elijah Smith, but for now, Rosas Jr. has just proven more. Dude, Morales is 3-7 in the UFC. They really needed him for this card. Holy shit. He's going to say bye-bye if he loses this. Even if he wins this, dude. What they did to Mike Breeden versus Jubilee If this guy beats Raul Rosas, he's out of here too. This is a Raul Rosas, another decision, because Vince Morales is such a tough out, let's be honest. But yeah, Raul Rosas, 30-27's it. Maybe even 29-20 on some scorecards. Now we're getting to these final three. These are some things to talk about. Oh, that's so sad. Look at this. When we click on this, he goes from his new hair transplant. I was like, damn, he's cool. I was going to get to talk about it. I click on it, and it disappears. Poor Joe Pyfer. Update his full body. Don't update Calvin's, though. You know he's still fat. And you know he's probably even fatter. Let's be real. But Kevin Gastelum. I checked on his YouTube channel. He chilled out on the eating vlogs and talked more about training, as he should. The fat turd. Fat lump. It's only 33, too. And Joe the Hobo Pyfer is 28, though. Dude, and he had that setback loss to Hermanson. Let's talk about both of Hermanson losses first. Because Kelvin Gastelum got twisted up. Twisted up as far as you could imagine, dude. As far as your headphone wires twist up. That's how far he was twisted up. Joe Pyfer, not no novice on the ground. He defended every takedown but one in the fifth. And that was a step behind Joe Pyfer, who was losing, morale down, right? And a Joe Pyfer we definitely know is improved. Who's also taking, by the way, grappling matches in that time. In the time since. And knocking out Gabriel. What is Kelvin Gastelum doing since he got twisted up into a pretzel? So loses to Hermanson, beats Eden Heinisch. Honestly, I thought Eden Heinisch was going to be something, but not a good win. Loses to Robert Whittaker. Okay. Jared Cannonier. Okay. Chris Curtis. Controversial. He wins it by a headbutt, let's be honest. Loses to Sean Brady. Who, honestly, in hindsight, did better than we probably would pick now. But then beats Daniel Rodríguez. And a fucked up fight where he came in so much heavier than he should have. He has not proven a single thing other than being a tough out and having some leg kicks now. Joe Pyfer has showed so much more improvement. And I'm stuck between either picking Joe Pyfer by decision with a crazy knockout in it, or I'm starting to think, dude, we might have a solid granite chin cracked. We might get a Joe Pyfer out cold. Because you know these granite chins never break with a slight TKO finish. It's always they went out bad, and it's sad to see, and will they ever recover? And I think that's what we're gonna get. I think it's gonna be like, oh, he's coming close with these exchanges, and then he's just gonna dip in with a nasty left hook while Kelvin's walking backwards. And I think we're gonna get a Kelvin that's looking good in the early rounds with the leg kicks. They're like, oh, we might have something. He's gonna get counter off it or some shit. And he's going to make us believe he might have a little extra skill than he does. But I think we're going to get a big old breakout performance from Joe Pyfer here. Round 2 KO. Sorry, Calvin. Now we're moving on to Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. And insanely close odds with Drew Dober a tiny bit behind. And I love that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick him, dude. Manuel Torres... Dude, he has not convinced me of shit. And I know it's easy to say that with his loss to Ignacio Bahamondes, who's amazing. And Ignacio Bahamondes, by the way, is going on that Bilal path with those early losses that aren't going to mean much because he's on an insane win streak. Look who Manuel Torres is beating in the UFC. He's getting performance bonuses for all of them. Dude, he doesn't have that motivation anymore. Let's be real. Beats Frank Camacho. Dude, name a single Frank Camacho win. You cannot. Do not even try. Nicholas Mata, who elbow KO, that was a brutal finish, right? But in hindsight, Nicholas Mata was not... He looks good now, and I'm behind that Nicholas Mata hype train. I might be the only one, but I'm behind it. But Nicholas Mata was really struggling to find his footing in the UFC early on. He's getting KO loss after KO loss after KO loss. And it's like, no shit, he's going to lose it. And then Chris Duncan. And I swear to God, if I fought Chris Duncan, 999 times out of 1,000 he beats me, but I could fluke a spinning backwards. Let's be real. And you're lying to yourself if you don't believe that. But he rear naked chokes Chris Duncan, and Chris Duncan is so susceptible to these early explosive guys, I find. Dude, I know this might might just be me cherry picking. But I feel like that's proved nothing compared to that pedigree Drew Dober has. And sure, that Iron Chin got cracked by Matt Fravone. That was a while ago now. And by Gene Silva. But every time it's getting cracked, he's taking the time off. He's taking that care. That sweet soothing care. 9 months it's been? Perfect. Amazing. That's the time you need it. And he's probably going to get cracked by Manuel Torres. I'm going to shit my pants and like, oh no, I know he might lose this. And dude, Drew Dober's going to stand up for me. He's going to stand on that ground. He's going to fight through. And we're going to see a dejected Manuel Torres in that second and third round. It's going to be like the, what that dude's name? That Rafael Alves fight. Where he's looking good, and he just starts to wilt. And you go, uh-oh. It's not the same guy as the first round. And we're going to get a Drew Dober round 3 body shot TKO. Am I picking finishes for every fight? No. I'll get some early decisions. This later card's going to have fun, though. Now we're on that main event. And it's funny, because I feel like I have the least to say about this main event. And I will be honest, Erceg got me a little hype when he brought up the little slobber knocker line in the press conference. Right, I got a little hyped. I was like, ooh, he's going to make this one close. This is Steve Erceg, who's taken, we lost on 305, was it? Right? 305, let me check. Yeah, I lost on 305 to Kaikar France, right? He was a really good fighter, and the other loss to Pantoja. But, dude, when you watch the breakdown of how Kaikar France caught him, he was just moving back in a straight line. Is he going to fix that? I mean, he's taking off a lot of time. Or a lot, 10 months. Moreno, though, dude, I feel like a lot of those the pre-Albazi fights, I don't want to say it wasn't himself. Those losses don't count. But he is a bit reinvented in that Albazi fight. But then again, Albazi could have just looked shit. That was a literal crippled, walking with some crutches Albazi, who's turning to cooking with Volk now. Did you know how to cook Arabic food online? But, I don't know. It's so hard to judge. Like, Steve Erceg definitely looked bad in his last fight. Moreno kind of looked good. You know what? I'd rather bank it off the kind of look good than it definitely look bad. But I feel like everyone's counting Erceg out, and he does have... If his chin holds up, I still think he's losing a 48-47. Imagine if he submits Moreno, though. We've seen Moreno have some questionable grappling moments, even though he's a jiu-jitsu-based guy. Dude, that Pantoja fight... Erceg's going back and forth with Pantoja in some bits. Moreno's kind of just losing the ground, it feels, over and over. But then again, do I not think Moreno's not prepared for that? I don't think he's going to finish Erceg. But I think we're going to get 3 losses in a row for Erceg, and it's going to be looking pretty down. I don't know why he's been thrown to this lion's pit of Pantoja, Kaikar France, and Moreno. Give him a free layup of... What? Matt Schnell again? Not Matt Schnell again, but... I don't know. Maybe not make him wait for Albazi, but like, who's an earlier, give him a Jose for me who's not the... Give him a Alex Perez. I don't know, right? Give him a Dustin Ortiz. Give him the guys who aren't in the UFC, but you know what I'm saying, dude. Give him a 10. Give him that Kazakh guy that just beat Charles Johnson. Or give him the Kazakh guy that just lost to Charles Johnson. Who knows? But just give him a free swing at an easy win. This Moreno fight isn't that easy win though. Moreno by 49-46, 49-46, 48-47, I think. Thanks for watching though. Peace.